Hey everyone, welcome back to another market closing live stream. Today is a special day because we have Tesla earnings coming up in this live stream. We've also got other earnings coming up. I'm excited to see exactly what's going on. What's really incredible is last week, Kathy Wood kind of suggested like, hey, be careful, Tesla earnings could be limited a little bit because of, what's going on Bitcoin and all. And hey, you take a look at the market today, and boy, oh boy, anything Bitcoin related is skyrocketing. Look at what's happening today. MicroStrategy up 27.3%. You've got SOS up 22%. Hut 8 Mining 22%. You've got Riot Blockchain up 22%. Marathon up 20.5%. Hive Digital 18.5%. Big digital assets 17.31%. Coinbase and Voyager up 10. Basically anything with Bitcoin related to it is just up today, including Tesla. Tesla is also up. Last I checked, it was up about 2%. It's up about 2.41% right now, partially because of those earnings coming up. Though, look at the pump on Bitcoin. This is incredible. We sat on top of our 37,500 support line here. We pulled back a few times, but now we're taking off again. Folks, the lockups are done for the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This is wonderful. A buy the dip opportunity was here last week. We were doing buying, sent out alerts to go shopping. Didn't buy as much as I wanted to, but that's okay. That's usually how it works in hindsight. I did buying though, so I'm happy with that. So in the meantime, let's take a look at what else we got going on. AMC up 8%. Pretty incredible move right here on AMC. All of a sudden, we got a let's go off the. There we go. Let's get back to the day chart here. There we go. Look at the movement here throughout the day. Here started out a little low. Initially up about a couple percent, gave that up, but then quickly ran back. Almost came back to our 41.36 support line, bouncing off. Actually, looks like 40.84 here and about 40.65. Slowly kind of channeling here right now, channeling between 40.28, and it looks like I can't really say, probably closer to over here. VWAP of the day, 39.58. Look at those VWAP bounces today. Check that out. Those are some solid bounces straight off the VWAP here. Bounce, 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 bounce. That's incredible. Anyway, worth having VWAP on sometimes. You even saw it riding over here a little bit, though we did break below it multiple times. And when you get these breaks below the VWAP, you can often have a good buying opportunity if you're trading within the day. So, great things to keep an eye on. So Dave & Buster's, wow, look at recovery all of a sudden taking off again here. Dave & Buster's, after getting beat up, now up 7.47%. Looks like the market's really looking for an opportunity again to go investing. I've been a big proponent of some form of euphoric stock market rally potentially coming by September, October, November-ish in this range. It's been quite a painful journey between February, though, to the September, November range. It's been a journey. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs together. Today's really lining up to be a pretty dang up day. Dow started out negative. Now it's positive. So very, very positive and exciting day. What will be very interesting is how the market ends up reacting to Tesla earnings, which those will be coming out very soon. They're scheduled for a release in about 36 minutes from now. We do have some momentum losing money today. We've got Body here losing, Emran losing. We've got Faraday Solutions losing, Arcimoto. These guys down between 10 to 7% here. Some momentum movers here. Roblox giving up about 5.51. You got the SPAC 23andMe down 6.4. BYD down 3.7, likely on Chinese drama. Golly, there's been a lot of Chinese drama. Where the heck is Didi on our watch list? How are we supposed to do the Didi on Didi if there's no Didi on our list? Where'd it go? Didi, there you are. Oh, Didi actually started doing a little bit better today. Take a look at that. Didi really started out in the hole. That's why I wasn't seeing it. It's actually only down 1.18% today. Not so bad, given that it's basically been straight down, unfortunately. So going back to losers here, Twitter losing 420 after smashing earnings last week, which was actually very surprising, given that Twitter initially ran up about 10%, settled up about 3%, and now it's actually down 4.2%. So unfortunately, not doing super well here on Twitter. Snap did much better with a nice over 20% gain last week. currently down about just 1%, so not that big of a deal here. All right, our other earnings on deck today, we have ACGNC. Not familiar with this one, but I am familiar with Logitech. Logitech will report as well, though they're expected to report tonight. So really the biggest one we're going to be paying attention to, and potentially the only one that we're going to pay attention to, is actually going to be Tesla. Tesla again at 105. We will be covering those earnings, of course, as they come out. And we have the terminal open. Let's see what we have here at CNBC, and then we might hop on over to Bloomberg as well and see what we got.
Meg, any update on when we might see the official authorization, the FDA approval for the vaccine for adults? I know they set a timeline into next year. Is there a sense of urgency there with this?
It's actually a good question here for children.
Delta variant.
Absolutely. I think the urgency is only mounting there, and there have been so many calls for full approval for multiple reasons. Dr. Gottlieb has said he thinks it could be, 3 to 4 months from when they applied. And so that would put you sort of end of August, early September, potentially for Pfizer, which filed and completed that application first. We understand Moderna is still in the process of submitting the rolling application, but we could be seeing that potentially in September.
So I just want to add, the reason that's actually a big deal is because there are a lot of people who are refusing to travel and are refusing to go out to restaurants and basically be a part of the reopening because their children are not vaccinated yet. Now, obviously, I'm fully aware that about 30 to 40% of folks do not want to get vaccinated, and I'm all for personal choice when it comes to this. But I do know that the 50 to 60% of folks who are getting vaccinated, there's a good portion of those people who want their children to be vaccinated before they feel comfortable taking their children to, whether it's movie theaters, malls, restaurants, whatever. Now, that's not true for everyone, but that could be something that does still weigh back some of that personal spending, which is definitely something I want to keep an eye on. I do think that we could have a nice catalyst when we actually get approval on vaccines for children within the recovery stocks.
When that was announced.
Let's listen in here.
This is after the toy and the entertainment company reported second quarter net sales and earnings per share that topped even the highest analyst estimates. Joining us now, Hasbro Chairman and CEO Brian Goldner. And Mr. Goldner, always great to have you on the program. You talk about sort of the broad-based demand that you saw in the quarter. How sustainable is that going forward?
That's such a good question for all earnings. Let's just listen to that answer really quick. How sustainable?
We're really seeing very strong consumer demand, and obviously, even beyond this window of second quarter, the last 4 weeks, our business is up double digits in POS, and our games business is performing quite well as well. A lot of great product categories with great innovation from Nerf to Play-Doh.
You gonna answer the question, bro?
Partner brands, Marvel, Star Wars, the Princess business, all contributing. Transformers, incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And so we see our consumer products business continuing to do well throughout the year. People are very engaged in these categories. They like playing.
Okay, that's actually really good. Good to know that they're not projecting a slowdown in these sales. I'll tell you, we got a ton of Nerf guns. We loaded up on Nerf guns during the pandemic. Boy, oh boy, did we load up on Nerf guns. Somebody's asking if they're going to enter the NFT space. Well, golly, the NFT phase, golly, that came and went so fast. Absolutely insane. Anyway, let's go to member chat here. We'll be through member chat through Tesla earnings as well. So I am taking a peek here, though, at autos just getting wrecked. This, to me, is not a good indication of potentially things to come for Tesla. But let's go ahead and look at LCID, which Lucid Group here, or previously CCIV, look at it, mostly trades sideways intraday here. Almost ran up to $29 here. This is incredible. Actually, this was during the course member live stream this morning. And we were talking about how, now would be a good time to close out some call options and just buy shares instead. And boy, oh boy, no kidding. So we've got an incredible set here of movement today. I have to say I'm very impressed with the recovery stocks moving again. Carnival Cruise Lines here up also 4.5%. Keep in mind, another catalyst, those children getting vaccines, for those parents who want that, that could also be a catalyst for cruise ships. So sitting at $23 now for CCL, not bad relative to where it has been really the rest of the year. I mean, quite frankly, right now you're able to buy CCL somewhere around, looks like February pricing, end of February pricing, mid-November or mid-December pricing. That is correct, Julie. Thank you for that. If you want to sign up for this member chat, you have to do it on a computer. Don't do it from your iPhone. The iPhones and iPads, they don't let you for some reason. It's odd. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a peek here. Let's see if Charles has got anything for us over at, actually, we're over to the Climate Comp down now, and we're on commercial. All right, no problem. So, big thing today that I'm really paying attention to is crypto. Just blown away with how this has been doing. I've been loading up on ADA, especially when it was down at about $1.04, and people are like, oh my gosh, it's going to go under $1. I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, it's sitting at $1.35 right now, kind of back to where we were not too long ago, which is great. But you can look at this dip here. Look at that sort of Weeble double bottom we had here just last week here. So yeah, one week ago, 6 days. Yeah, 1 week ago today, 6 days ago. So Monday, Tuesday, you definitely had some lows here in the crypto space. Yeah, nice recovery since then. Comes at a great time for Tesla to have a nice recovery, though. So that's good. Speaking of Tesla, let's take a listen here.
26 minutes away. Wall Street looking for earnings per share of 98 cents on $11.3 billion in revenue. But investors are also dying to know more about the Cybertruck timeline and whether Tesla has secured battery supply. With about, as we said, half an hour before the Q2 report, Tesla shares moving higher by 2.5% to $658.90. But one of Tesla's newest, biggest competitors right now looking to drive the original EV maker maybe just a bit off course. Lux EV startup Lucid Motors now publicly trading under the ticker symbol LCID after completing a reverse merger with Churchill Capital Corp. Zooming in as the most well-funded EV startup ever ahead of its debut. The stock up 8% for Lucid at the moment. And let's get to Lucid Motors CEO and CTO, Peter Rawlinson. Well, now, this is interesting, Peter. You know, timing is very, very interesting. As the chief engineer of the Model S back in the day, what's it like for you to helm your own EV company on this first day of trade?
Well, it's a wonderful experience, but look, this is a culmination of so much effort from the team. This is a team effort. This is what Lucid's about, a team effort from brilliant people, scientists, engineers, designers pulling together to create this complex product. Lucid Air going into production later this year, the most advanced EV in the world.
We'll see about that.
Let's get to prices here, because I know our
you got to get production.
Always wants to know price, because then they can extrapolate or triangulate, if you will, the ability to make this a popular or smart stock to invest in. The Lucid Air, as I understand it, about $69,900, going as high as for the Air Dream Edition, $160.
Okay, we kind of know these details. I'm excited about the Lucid, but you know, come on, we're supposed to see cars rolling off the line later this year. I don't know. Is it going to happen? He says they might go into production at the end of this year. Or are we actually going to sell? I don't know.
Table against the Grande Marques, Mercedes, Audi, BMW, and Porsche. We start with the Dream Edition, unashamedly a high-end product, 1,000 horsepower, some versions over 500-mile range. But my passion is to drive that cost down as soon as possible. And the sooner we can get the pure edition, the pure Air out late next year, then we can get that price point way down into the 70,000s. And beyond that, we'll have other models mid-decade which bring the price into a much more affordable realm.
Mid-decade?
Well, yeah, because you have experience in doing that, having been the lead engineer of the Model S, which is the least, Model S is the fancy one. I just got a Model Y, which is, to me, affordable, certainly, more so than my Lexus hybrid. So you've got to tell me how you plan to scale up here. You have 11,000.
Oh, she bailed herself out of that one.
11,000 reservations. Do you expect all 11,000, or at least the greater part of these, to come through and actually take ownership of these cars?
Well, we'll see. I mean, people have put serious money down, up to $7,500 deposit in the case of the Dream Edition. Dream Edition's already sold out, and we've got a very useful combination of pre-orders for Grand Touring, and Air Pure. But, you know, like
he's plummeting it. He's plummeting the stock.
In the hands of customers, they will be the best evangelists for the brand when people use these cars and really enjoy them and talk to their friends about the prowess.
Well, one of your competitors, and I would say at least an apples to apples comparison, as close as we can get, is Faraday Future. They were on last week. Of course, Faraday. They too just did a reverse merger, a SPAC, and they went public last week. Their stock is getting hit today, down about 7%. Again, they are saying they want to compete with the Rolls Royces and the Maybachs of the world, but all electric. If I had to choose between the two, make your case to our investor audience right now for that.
Ooh.
Well, I think it's important to start with a high-end product because the product defines the brand. So we need to start with a technological tour de force, and the Lucid Air Dream Edition is exactly that, over 1,000 horsepower, over 900 volts. But we also want to change the world. So it's important for us that we don't start in such rare air where there isn't that much volume potential. I'm very cognizant of the volume potential in this marketplace. So we have a car here which will start at 169,000 for Dream Edition. We can get that price down to 77,400, and that can't come soon enough, late next year. That's the mission, to transition mankind towards sustainable mobility through technology. That is what we're about.
Peter, I want you to finish this sentence for me. No one is going to be buying, not driving, no one's going to be buying gas-powered cars by the year what?
Ooh, 2035.
I think it's going to be 27, something like that. 26, 27. The pendulum is going to swing massively. Yeah, I mean, there's two big obstacles. One is range anxiety, and we've managed to address that with over 500 miles. And we're doing that through efficiency. And paradoxically, it's the very efficiency of our technology which will drive the cost down, because it means we can travel further with a smaller battery pack. And that means that in the future, we can use this very same high-tech, high-efficient technology to create a car with a more reasonable range, but with a proportionately smaller battery pack, and drive the costs down that way. And that's what the world needs, more attainable EVs.
Yeah. All right,
Great to have you, Peter, on this first day of trade. The stock up 7%. Debut on the NASDAQ, Peter Rawlinson of Lucid Motors. Look forward to at least test driving one. Good luck. Thank you.
Please.
All right. Okay. So, he did a very good job at sending the stock to the toilet there. That's crazy. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, let's see how other stocks are behaving right now. So we've got MicroStrategy. We're still running on some of these. Look at this. SOS is just running right into the close. This is like, now we're starting to see euphoria come back on sort of crypto. And when euphoria comes back on crypto, I think it's just a matter of time you start seeing euphoria come back on tech. Tech has been really lagging here in 2021, but I'm still waiting for that that September November range. We'll see. I could be losing my mind. It could just be wrong, but I still believe it. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't know if I believe this 2027 thing. I mean, her question was, fill in the blank. When will somebody not basically consider buying a gas car anymore? 2027, 6 years? You know what? He could be right. I mean, maybe in 2027, people are like, man, it's so much cheaper to buy an electric car. Why would I get gas? But I don't know. Especially if you drive a lot, charging is kind of a pain. We were actually thinking about doing 4 Teslas for our campaign convoy that starts this Friday. Speaking of which, if you applied to be part of the convoy, there was a survey sent out to you this morning. Just make sure you answer those 2 questions so we can start booking those of you who are going to be coming. But anyway, golly, like, we would have to stop so much to charge if we had 4 Teslas and we're driving up and down California. We'd burn so much time. It's crazy. So there is a real benefit to just being able to pull up to that pump and fill it up, within 5 minutes and go. I honestly think that's why hydrogen has some real potential. But I mean, hydrogen's 2030s plus thing, at least at the rate that we're growing right now. All Let's see here. Okay, so we have Matterport. One second. Give me 1 second here. Okay, you're on here. So, okay, then we have CRISPR Therapeutics, 2.67% of the downside. Wonder how CRISPR's been doing here. Let's see. Take a peek at CRISPR. You know, CRISPR's actually falling to, I mean, we're in this almost sideways trading range here. We've really come down from some of the euphoria. I wonder how, let's see here. What was it called? Not Invitae. It's the other one. Not Invitae, but how's the other one that had just smashed earnings? I don't invest in them. I haven't done much research into them at all, but I'm tracking them. Not Invitae. There we go. Intelia. That's it. How's this one doing compared? Yeah, see, this one's had this incredibly euphoric run up here. But then again, this was off approvals too, so this makes sense. Slow little bleed happening right now. And so I want to watch this one too. But boy, this is a whole sector I'd love to get into. Canadian Solar, how are we over here? Canadian Solar is almost getting ready to bounce off a lower support line here. We've got a support line at 37.33. We're at 38.11 right now. Canadian Solar's been trading sideways for quite a bit of time here. So you had a lot of euphoria over solar and energy towards the really the end of last year is when we saw this in the beginning of this year, like January. But a lot of that excitement has at least somewhat paused. And I think that's partially also why you're seeing a little bit of a pause in Tesla's price momentum, because Wall Street investors are anxious for those profits. And it takes a little longer to get those profits at the energy companies. So what else do we have? Okay, let's see here. We've got 13 minutes to the close. Let's go take a peek here and see what CNBC has for us today. Oh, there's Mr. Diamond Hand, man. Never forget, Diamond Hand your shares. If you have options, you kind of get options hurt a little bit because you have to time options twice, right? I always say that when we talk about buying options. You always want to remember that. You have to time options twice. Once in, once out. And that could be a little bit more complicated. So, okay, nothing here on Bloomberg, nothing on CNBC, nothing on Fox. Looks like they're all busy doing other things right now. Fine then. Go back to the sticks. Curious to see how Lucid has recovered potentially. Hut 8 mining dropping a tiny bit going into the close. SOS still running. Got Express out of nowhere. My goodness, Express out of nowhere is up substantially here, 18.46%. That's really impressive. That feels like it came out of nowhere at least. Then we've got, let's see here. Big digital assets, 1.23. Wow, really incredible. So then we have, let's see, AMC. Okay, let's listen. Let's go over here for a moment. Let's listen into Sarah.
All the action going into the close. CNBC senior markets commentator Mike Santoli here to break down these crucial moments of the trading day as always. And today we've got Paul Hickey from Bespoke Investment Group with us as well.
Talk to us.
We kick it off with the broader market. We are on record close watch for the Dow and the S&P 500. All three major averages hit intraday record highs earlier today. And Mike, it's kind of an odd mix of the leaders today. You've got energy on top, as Pippa just mentioned. That's an earnings scene, but consumer staples are also going strong, and some of the defensive groups have acted better lately. What does it make sense of it for us?
It doesn't seem like there's a real strong thematic push, except that there's outperformance by some of the stuff that was left behind this month in the big gain in big growth stocks. So autos up, airlines up, banks are up. So the stuff that seems like maybe there's some catch-up potential, given where the indexes are at the record, that's probably it. It has also the feel of kind of holding steady ahead of a lot of consequential news this week, right?
Yeah.
The big NASDAQ stocks reporting, the Fed, obviously. So, net, marginal progress on top of record highs, not too bad when it's not really a strong narrative driver.
Yeah, Paul, someone this morning said it had to be one of the stranger days where you get across the board record highs because of all the things we don't know yet coming in the next 4 or 5 sessions.
Also true.
But Carl, as they say, there's the old wall of worry in the market. But I mean, the last week reminds us of, and I'm sure you remember it with your, knowledge of TV and movie history, Mr. Short-Term Memory from Saturday Night Live. last Saturday, the market was all worried about Delta variant, the market's going to crash, people were thinking, and now by Friday, we're back at record highs, and there was very little in the way of concerns over COVID. So I think the longer-term picture for the market continues to be positive. In the short term, we have some seasonal factors that we're going to have to get through and a relatively high bar for earnings season. But overall, the economy remains solid. The pace of growth is slowing, and that's caused some concern among people. But the fact is that the strongest growth and expansion always comes in the first year, and we're out of that first year now, as the NBER told us last week. So pace of growth is going to slow down, but that doesn't mean that the market can't keep rising. So I think that's something to keep in mind here. And the Russell 2000, which has been consolidating for 6 months, not even down 10% yet, but it's already would rank as the 7th longest correction in the index's history. So I think as earnings season comes through here, some of these small caps will start to show some signs of life.
Yeah, interesting. And as Mike said earlier today, even some of the larger concerns like China have been walled off a bit. U.S. listed Chinese stocks did get hit hard as China's crackdown continues. Our Deirdre Bosa has the latest details. Hi, Dee.
Yeah, so the latest crackdown impacting music rights at Tencent and food delivery and Meituan. Both of those are two of China's biggest internet companies. And add those sectors and those giants to that growing list that are engulfing names in edtech, ride-sharing, fintech, and gaming across the board, guys. Another brutal sell-off today for the KWeb ETF of U.
I'll tell you, I don't know if I could really, after what just happened here, and like so much of me wants to say like, it's just FUD, like buy the dip, forget about it, right? With the Chinese stocks. I don't have that confidence, you know, and if I don't have confidence, I have a really hard time getting into a stock. Because when things start trading sideways or down, then you get nervous, and then that's kind of when you sell out, you know, and that's when it gets scary, is when you sell out towards the bottom or something like that. You don't want to do that. You want to stay away from that, in my opinion, at least. And one of the ways to do that is being confident in something. I tell you, with this, it's hard to be confident. It's hard to be confident in these Chinese stocks, and I feel bad because I don't think the companies are bad. I actually liked DD when I did my first valuation on them. I never did a video on them, but I liked them. I wasn't going to buy it at IPO, not at that price. But overall, I didn't think it was unreasonable. But nobody could have predicted what happened with the madness of all of this with China, basically just almost trying to punish these particular companies. Very disappointing. All right, let's go ahead and get back over here to the sticks. We've got MicroStrategy, 2818. Golly, still moving very, very nicely. Marathon Digital, nice. Express 18, awesome. Big Digital here, super cool. We've got a Coinbase up a 10%, full 10% there on Coinbase. I think we still have a good move to make there on Coinbase, though. 2047. Quite frankly, I've got some call options on it, and some folks were wondering, hey, is today a potential day to close those calls? I think we can get a much more euphoric rally on crypto. And when we get that euphoric rally on crypto, I think we'll get that on Coinbase as well. So personally, much more optimistic. At 247 is still at the kind of level where it's like, should I be buying right now? You know, I haven't really been buying anything. If I'm buying, it's shares, not options, not buying options at all right now. The market's just been trading too much sideways. But I've got a bunch of options ready for the September-November rally. So let's see if it comes between now and then. Super excited for that. Let's go take another listen here. We've got about 10 minutes to go for Tesla earnings. Let's listen in here.
The stock down another 3%. This is the world's largest defense player disclosing a $225 million charge taken on a classified program in aeronautics. Also comment from the company that its F-35 fighter jets could be more expensive, citing inflationary concerns. Shares of Lockheed giving back most of its gains for the year and now trading about 15% below its recent high and underperforming its peers in the defense space, Raytheon and General Dynamics, by a wide margin. With much of the pressure on the 2022 outlook now in the open, Melius Research says that some of its losses could reverse. Carl, back to you.
All right, Seema, thank you very much. Seema Modi talking about Lockheed as we've watched shares dramatically underperform year to date, Mike.
Yeah, and in fact, probably cheaper relative to the overall market Lockheed shares than they've been in like 20 years. So it's a very out of favor group within industrials. They usually benefit from being this kind of black box. They just
This is, by the way, a big one that Kathy has in her ARC X fund.
These issues with certain contracts. Also, always very heavy in these sort of dividend growth portfolios. So I think there's a lot of normal investors in defense stocks who just want it to be kind of put it away and forget it, as opposed to having to worry about all this other stuff. So maybe it's creating an opportunity, just given that they are very.
Wow, look at that sideways trade here for a while. Although it's just up nicely from its dip there in February. Yeah, take a look at this. Geez, let's go out to the week chart here. Wow, what a mess it's had over here in just really the last year here has been a little messy. This is a kind of beautiful growth. Like, this is just what you dream of, is this kind of growth. This is just a mess. But look at Google, by the way. Google does that kind of. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Google. Oh, man, look at Google. That is unreal on the week chart here. Jeez, that looks nice. Let's go to even on the day chart, it looks incredible. You know, I'll tell you, my Google options have been helping me have less losses on my Tesla options. Although, hey, maybe today I'll turn that around. Who knows? That'll be a big moment. These Tesla earnings are going to be huge. But yeah, go Google. Gee whiz, love it. Really, really incredible. And I mean, you think about the earnings too, that you've got in ad revenues. I mean, it's just been incredible. But I will say, things have slowed down in terms of how much advertisers are paying, and that might be because people are going sort of back to work. So you might be seeing some of that. That's something to keep in mind, by the way, for Google. But anyway, let's listen over here.
Well, that's the hope. We've heard Elon Musk make reference to the fact that the company has been impacted by the shortage of semiconductor chips, but we don't know to what extent. And if they don't talk about it in the earnings release, the hope is that it may be addressed during the conference call. But as I said earlier today, these conference calls have shifted. It used to be fairly wide open for analysts to ask questions. They have streamlined that process a bit, and it's a little bit more restrictive. So we'll see if that question comes up.
Phil LeBeau. Phil, thank you. Very quickly, Paul, what do you make of Tesla's underperformance relative to the market so far this year and the setup into earnings?
Yeah, so it's an interesting juncture here. It's been in a downtrend off its earlier high this year, but in a shorter term uptrend, and it's just above that downtrend line and just below, it's right at a critical point here, so to say. And it moves an average of 8% on earnings, so it's going to break one way or the other after earnings today. And I think that'll go a good way.
It used to do 8% on average. I think we got to get you the updated info. Now it's only expected to move 6.2%. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it moves 8 to the upside. I'll take that. Yeah, but it would take a big beat for that. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you saw my Tesla video going into this.
Pretty solid. A majority of the volume is to the upside. On the NASDAQ, it actually is the reverse. You have more stocks down than up. You actually have more new 52-week lows today, again, on the NASDAQ than you have 52-week highs. So, again, a little bit of this undertow of selling below the surface, even though overall indexes remain resilient. Look at the equal-weighted S&P 500 so far this month compared to the regular old market cap weighted edition. And that's the complaint over there, that the average stock is not fully participating in.
Oh yeah. I would not recommend buying Tesla options right now. No, I'm holding Tesla options from April, but definitely not recommending people buy options right now.
Back below 18, slightly up on the day, which is not unusual on a Monday, but it's refused to buckle down toward that 15 level, even though the S&P at an all-time high. Probably the Fed meeting later this week is keeping a bid, as well as some of the stormy seasonal factors everyone keeps talking about.
Well, will they?
But then again, every time everybody bags on something like Tesla options, they end up printing tendies, and then people are like, "Oh, I wish I had Tesla options." And then every time people are euphoric about Tesla, it ends up selling off. So, hey, maybe it's a good thing we're loaded up on Tesla options. It's anti the crowd. We'll see what ends up happening. All right, let's see. We are 20-ish seconds away from the closing bell. We got Microvast leading down 12%. MicroStrategy up 26%. Lucid's going to close about 10% up. So is Coinbase. Carnival's going up 5.5%. It's running into the close. It's amazing. How did AMC do? AMC is going to close 9% up today. Look at the euphoria we've got. Let's get that bell. Record close on the Dow and S&P, says Sarah, with the Dow up at 35,145, up almost 0.25%. S&P up almost 0.25%. NASDAQ up 0.03, and Russell up 1/3. Wow, we just keep getting record close after record close after record close. It's almost kind of exhausting to see the indices doing this, whereas some individual stocks are just trading sideways.
S&P 4222. Take a look at the NASDAQ as well, up about, just as Sarah said, barely less than 0.1%. And of course, the Russell 2000 adding about 7 points, about 1/3%. The countdown is on now for Tesla's earnings, which are expected any moment from now, although oftentimes the actual timing of the release is a question. We'll get instant analysis of those results as soon as the numbers are released.
Well, I'll try to make it more instant. I'm going to try to be more instant than you're instant. Ooh, I'm excited for those Tesla earnings. Okay, let's do a little recap here, okay, as far as what we're expecting. So I did a Tesla video on this, but we got to set up expectations here, okay? So we are expecting, here we go. I've got this little sheet here, so this will make it a little easier for us to see. I will just go ahead and share this. Here we go. This is what we're expecting. 0.974 on adjusted EPS, 0.51 on GAAP, revenue of 11.3 billion. Please, let's see something beautiful like 12. Oh my gosh, if we see something 12, I think I'm just gonna like shout. It'd be great. If we see something, if we see a 10 in the front, it's gonna be bad. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm more worried about the top line number than I'm worried about the bottom line number, because I think the top, well, I mean, look, the bottom, let me rephrase that. I think margin is going to improve. So like when my eyes first go to what's coming up on the sheet, I'm going to be looking for revenue to be as close to or above 12 as possible. Ultimately, I just want to beat 1.11 billion. That's going to be huge. If we can beat that, that'll be absolutely epic. So that's where my eyes are going to go first. The bottom line is going to be very important, of course, because I want to look at that margin. I want to see what the heck is going on with their actual earnings and their revenue. Some folks mentioning that Bitcoin's falling. This is true. Look at that. Bitcoin all of a sudden falling here, literally bouncing off that 40,000. Just dropped about 1,000 points here, just out of nowhere. It's kind of interesting. Still on standby for Tesla. It's technically expected in about 2 minutes. All right. Yeah. Estimates for Q3. That's true. That's going to be very important. Full self-driving subscriptions. How about when we can actually get a download button? You know, that would be awesome. Ooh. All right. People taking gains at Bitcoin 40,000? Probably. Yep, probably. A little bit of a stabilization there, probably. Wouldn't it be awesome if margin came in at 30%? Just it could be total. It could be with credits. That's fine. But oh my gosh, come on. We're looking for that 12 number on earnings. That's what we're looking for. Well, anything really over 11.3 would be great. But if we see a 12, then it's just gonna. I think. I mean, no guarantees. You never know. Doug says, "I just bought Bitcoin. Sorry, it's my fault. It's crashing." Come on, man. You know you got to buy the dip, not buy it when it's running, dude. The thing just ran $10,000 in 24 hours, and you buying it now? You got to get into the stocks and psychology of money. You buy when people pissed. Amazon denied rumors of accepting Bitcoin. Ooh, Nate donates $5 to support the knowledge. I'm excited more than nervous. I don't really care. The options I have are almost all for 2023. So we've got time. But it's just such an outsized position. I don't like it. I wish I just still had my shares. Well, I do still have all my shares. I just added options. But anyway, it's all right. Here we go. We are technically 30 seconds away. Again, we're looking for the Wall Street is looking for revenue of 11.3 billion, net of 1.11. Write this down. Get a piece of paper and a pencil or whatever. Revenue of 11.3 is what Wall Street is expecting. We're looking for EPS of just under $1, adjusted at 0.974, gap of around $0.50 of 0.518. And all right, here we go. It's out. Revenue comes in at 11.98. That's almost 12. Yes, that's a really big beat. Adjusted EPS 145. Let's go. Money, dollar signs. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, free cash flow coming in at 619 million versus the estimated negative 319 million. Oh, this is great. Adjusted EPS 145 versus the 97 estimate. You've got the, let's see, basic EPS. I think that's the GAAP EPS coming in at 1.18. Holy smokes. This is really good. And folks, look, CNBC still says awaiting Tesla. We beat them. We beat them to it. Oh my gosh, this is really, really, really good. Tesla still sees 50% average annual growth in deliveries. Let's freaking go. Oh my gosh. Tesla right now, after hours, up about 2.9%. I don't think the market really realizes that this beat has happened yet, because it's coming. It's coming. Like CNBC literally still says awaiting Tesla, and we've already got the earnings on this. So let's go back to see what else here. Tesla share, okay, that's it. Tesla Q2 CapEx 1.51 billion versus an estimated 1.19. Our operating margin will continue to grow over time. We have sufficient liquidity to fund our product roadmap. Oh, these are great statements. This is very, 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 very good. Tesla on track to build the first Model Y in Berlin and Austin in 2021. Yes. Oh my gosh. Tesla shifting launch of semi-truck program to 2022. I think that's expected. Tesla saw a Bitcoin-related impairment of $23 million. That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. $23 million. That's absolutely nothing. That's fine. Okay, big deal. So basically a loss of $23 million on Bitcoin. That's nothing. That's great. Boy, oh boy, that revenue almost at $12 billion. Oh man, it's like almost tears in my eyes. That is so good. Automotive revenue coming in at 10.21. That means energy came in really well. Energy and services must have come in, or those full self-driving subscriptions. That's really good. Wow, this is very, very, very impressive. The stock market the stocks right now actually not reacting as well as you'd think. Up 2% right now in the after hours, just sort of bobbing around. But you still have a waiting Tesla on CNBC. I am shocked how long it's taking them to get this up. Automotive gross margin 28.4%. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Hold on, is the slide deck out? Let me see if the slide deck is out, because if the slide deck's out, this is amazing. Oh my gosh, this is very, very good. And they still have it as a waiting Tesla, and we've been talking about them for a while here. They do not have the slide deck yet. They just have a press release right now on their website. Actually, no, they don't even have that. We still don't have the SEC filing or the shareholder deck. So we're literally just we're getting this statement here from the Newswire services. I can't believe automotive gross margin 28.4%. That's amazing. Working to drive down costs, increase production rate. Yes, this is exactly what we want. This is so good for Tesla. For those of you just joining, Tesla had an estimate of 0.98 for adjusted EPS. It came in at 1.45. Q2 revenues were expected to come in at 11.3 billion. I was hoping for 12, honestly, because I thought it would have just like skyrocketed the stock. Came in at 11.96, big beat, really, really, really good. They did have a report here that average selling price is down 2% year over year. But wait a minute, folks. Wait a minute. Average selling price is down 2% year over year, but they shut down SNX. I mean, SNX last quarter, they only sold 1,800 compared to the usual like 14 to 20,000. This is really, really good. Now, whether the stock moves on it, I mean, who knows? But to me, this is really good news. This is absolutely an incredible beat. Let's listen in. They're finally talking about it on CNBC. My goodness, that took forever for them to talk about it.
To do with, M2 growth is slowing. I think.
Are they going to talk about it yet? What's their problem? What are they waiting for? It's like the news is like censoring the Tesla. I mean, we see the little tag there at the bottom, but boy, oh boy, reports big jump in profit. Ooh, that's good too. Yeah, and the slide deck is still not out, by the way.
We've got Tesla earnings just out,
Yep.
guys. Want to get to
There
those
you
numbers?
go, dude. It was out like 10 minutes ago, Sarah. Sorry.
The read for us, Phil.
Sarah, this is a beat by a pretty wide margin on both the top and the bottom line. On the top line, you've got revenue coming in at $11.96 billion versus the estimate of $11.29 billion. The earnings.
Oh, look, CNBC starts, as soon as CNBC starts covering it, starts pumping. Are you serious?
One reason why the stock is moving higher. The outlook is what's going to get a lot of attention, as well as the automotive gross margins. By the way, automotive gross margins X the environmental credits, 25.8%. So
that's really good.
Lower than where
that's
it was
good.
in Q1, but still very strong. They say once again they plan to grow their capacity on an annual basis by 50%, exceeding that in 2021. That's similar language to what we've heard in the past. They also say they have sufficient liquidity. The Model Y production will begin in Berlin and in Austin this year.
Shareholder deck's out. I got it.
The Tesla Semi out to 2022. It was scheduled to start this year. That's moving out to 2022. And then they say Cybertruck production in Austin subsequent to the Model Y. So that's the latest, guys. A beat on the top and the bottom line by Tesla as they come in earning a $1.45 versus the estimate of earning 98 cents. Guys, back to you.
So freaking good. Okay, let's go to the slide deck. The slide deck just came out. Let's go. Let's go. Operating cash flows. Okay, let's see what we got here. Cash flows, 619 mil Q2. All right, lease repayments. Okay, $912 million decrease in our cash and cash equivalents. So they got $16.2 billion in the bank right now. This beat was so good. This is very, very good. We've got, excluding the credits, they came in at 25.8. That's a really good growth. Folks, this is going to explode in Q3. Absolutely explode in Q3 when we get more of those S and X's actually produced. This is very, very good. Successful launch of FSD in July, right? But we want the subscription. Let's get some details on that if we can. Started delivering the new Model S, good. Record vehicle productions, deliveries, of course. Okay, we broke new and noticeable records, produced over 200,000 vehicles in a quarter. Absolutely. Operating margin of 11%. Great. Supply chain challenges. Here we go. Particularly global semiconductor shortages and port congestion continue to be present in Q2. In other words, they had these amazing numbers with supply chain constraints and port congestion. That is absolutely incredible that they still did this well, especially with margins. The Tesla team, including supply chain, software development, and our factories, worked extremely hard to keep production running as close to full capacity as possible. That means they're not even at full capacity. That's incredible. The full global vehicle demand at record levels. Component supply will have strong influence on the rate of delivery growth for the rest of the year. That could be a little bit of an omen, though. We were really hoping for them to get to over 1 million units delivered this year. It's probably not going to happen because of all these constraints. Successfully launched Tesla Vision in Q2, which was mainly possible due to our ability to use data from over 1 million Tesla vehicles. This is basically their way to pitch why you invest in Tesla instead of other companies. And look at them reiterate that. Solving full autonomy is a difficult engineering challenge in which we continue to believe can only be solved through the collection of large real-world data sets and cutting-edge AI. Public sentiment and support for EVs seems to be a never-before-seen inflection point. That is like my favorite word right there, and that's when you actually see a change to the upside. We continue to work hard to drive down costs and increase our rate of production. Absolutely amazing. Okay, let's get over here. This is so good. Look at that juicy number. In fact, if you watched my Tesla video earlier, oh my gosh, if you watched my Tesla video earlier, I said I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a number approaching this because of, in fact, let me see. What did I say? Do I have it? Hold on, let me see if I have it really quick. And what did I say earlier? Tesla Q1. Oh my gosh, look what I wrote down. I literally wrote down, hopefully we see 28%, if not 30%. That would be like amazing. Watch my video from earlier. That's literally what I said. And we ended up getting 28.4%. Let's go. This is so good for Tesla. So good. The stock's not really moving on the news after hours. It's only up 1%, but this is so good. These numbers are absolutely amazing. So 28.4% gross margin. We'll go ahead and look at the without regulatory credits in just a moment. We don't have to do the math because they now include that on one of the later pages. Automotive revenues coming in at 10,206. Let me divide that really quick. 10,206 billion divided by 202,250, I think it was, or was it? No, it was 200,250. Was it? Let's see. Tesla Q2 deliveries. Let me make sure how many vehicles it was really quick. 201,250. Okay, so I'm going to divide this. I just want to see the average selling price. There we go. Average selling price of 5713. There we go. Okay, total revenues gap. Let's see here. So operating expenses actually went down, potentially a post-COVID sort of decrease here in operating expenses. That's great to see. We've got EPS, the EPS beat. I mean, this was such a good beat. This is so good. And this came in basically twice as high as expected. This came in substantially higher than expected. These are some beautiful, beautiful numbers here. Really, really good. Net cash provided by operating activities, $2 billion. Free cash flow, $619 million. Very good. Cash equivalents, great. Total revenue grew 98% year over year Q2, achieved through substantial growth in vehicle deliveries. Great. Operating income, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we want to get to some other details here. We're going to possibly... Okay, let's get to... Oh, here we go. Operating income increased year over year, mainly due to volume growth and cost reduction. Positive impacts were partially offset in growth in operating expenses, including increases in stock-based compensation, Model S and X ramp, negative margin. Ah, that's so good that they said that. Oh my gosh. That's actually huge. This is so important right here. So important. Okay, let me explain what they literally just said, because that right there, that's a money statement right there. Okay, you see this margin right here, that 28.4%? Now, I know that includes credits. We're going to look at the not credit thing at the 25% in a moment. But the point is, this massive growth from this 26.5% to a new record high of 28.4%, this happened while the S and X were still a drag on their margin. In other words, the margin for this could have been like, I don't know, probably not as low as 10%. Maybe it was like 18% or something, right? For the S and X. In other words, hurting them. Negative margin. I'm assuming they mean averaging in negative, unless they literally mean they're losing money on them, which I don't believe so. But then again, it's just depending on how they're amortizing out their factory costs. That part doesn't matter so much. The point that they're trying to convey is their margin was still being held down by the S and X. That's what's really important to remember here. But again, we only delivered like 1,900 vehicles. We produced 2,340 of the S and X, which is, look at that, a massive decline from last year. Right? When we were selling around 17,000, 16,000, here we sold 6,300, 2,300, produced, drop in the bucket. Absolutely nothing there. They actually revised this number up quite a bit here. Look at I'm sorry, that's production, not deliveries. There we go. Deliveries. This is about right. They had estimated 201,250, and it ended up being 201,304. Basically the same thing. Okay, good. Let's see here. Global vehicle inventory, days of supply, 9 days of supply. Actually still relatively low. So their days of supply is still going down. Solar deployed. Ooh. Oh. Whoa. Look at this here. Solar deployed and storage deployed. Check this out. Solar deployments plummeted. Well, I shouldn't say plummeted, but they went down a chunk here, right? I mean, that's like a 10%-ish decline here. Maybe not quite. That's like an 8% decline. But look at the battery deployments. Holy smokes. Why were they so low in Q1? That's very interesting. That battery deployments are almost as high as Q4 2020, which generally in Q4, that's when you see the big orders coming in for batteries and stuff, specifically because people want anyway, what's it called? Thank you for the $20, by the way. That was a funny comment. People generally want to get their batteries and solar panels towards the end of the year because you get to take advantage of those tax deductions. This bump here to 1274 megawatts of battery storage, very, very good. Megawatt hours, I should say. Very, very impressive. Okay, here we go. Global demand continues to be robust. We're producing at limits available. While we saw ongoing semiconductor supply challenges in Q2, we were able to further grow our production. Production roadmap of Model S progressed over the course of the second quarter. We expect it will increase through the rest of the year, given strong U.S. demand. The majority of 3Y production was delivered in North America. Got it. Build out of the Gigafactory continues to progress. Shanghai experienced minor interruptions in supply chain and factory upgrades still remaining strong. Got it. We have completed the transition from Gigafactory, or let's see, hold on. Due to strong U.S. demand and global average cost optimization, we have completed the transition of Gigafactory Shanghai as the primary vehicle export hub. Nice. Okay, Berlin. While our global production lines continue to run as fast as possible, Euro demand remains well above supply, resulting in growing wait times for deliveries. Continue installing equipment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's get details here. Full self-driving after selling 1 million. That's it? Okay, they didn't really give us an update on that one. After selling more than 1 million vehicles equipped with radar, we have collected enough data to start removing it in some regions. Removal of radar. This is something that created a lot of FUD, by the way, for Tesla. There were companies that were like removing ratings for it and stuff. It was nuts. Some neat pictures here, the full self-driving Cato facility in California. Oh, here we go. We have successfully validated performance and lifetime of our 4680 cells produced at our Cato facility. We are nearing the end of the manufacturing validation at Cato. Field quality and yield are viable at levels, and our focus is now improving the 10% manufacturing process that currently bottleneck our production. So still kind of stuck on that 4680. Still working on it, basically, is what they're saying. Internal crash testing of our structural pack architecture with a single piece of front casting has been successful. Great. So now it's just a matter of finishing the production to get these next batteries out. Still waiting for those. Energy deployments mainly driven by... I knew it! I literally said this in my video earlier. Oh my gosh. Man, that's funny. Okay, so that explains why the numbers got propped up. I said, you know... The things that could really make us beat this number here are going to be a beat on margin, or all of a sudden Tesla sold a bunch more mega packs. I kid you not, those are literally the things that came true, driven mainly by the recognition of several mega pack projects. Okay, problem is they recognize that revenue, right? We want to see more recurring, and it is good that they are saying this. Challenges as our backlog remains long here. Energy storage production continues to be held back by the supply chain. Well, yep. Pretty much this is as expected from my video this morning. I mean, this just hit the nail on the head in terms of what we were expecting. Unfortunately, not enough of a euphoric beat, but boy, some really, really good numbers here. Solar deployments reached 85. So what happened? Why did these not? Oh, because we didn't see the mega packs. Exactly. That makes sense. Solar plus storage remains remains very popular, and we continue to improve the efficiency of our install crews. Got it. Gross margins of service and other... No way. This has always been a cost draw for Tesla. Gross margin of service and other business reached near break-even in Q2, the best result in 4 years. Hey, break-even, the best result in 4 years? Sounds good to me. I'll buy more shares. No, that's actually really good. Service has always been a drag for Tesla, and so this is very, very good. Tesla right now, and after hours, sitting at 664, which honestly is like flat, I think. Hold on. It's like the stock's literally doing nothing. Nothing. Yeah, it's up 0.88. Gosh, sad. So sad. Plan to grow our manufacturing capacity as quickly as possible. All right, what else here? Sufficient liquidity. Got it. Remain on track to build our first Model Y in Berlin and Austin in 2021. Pace of respective production ramps will be influenced by the successful introduction of many new products and manufacturing technologies. Got it. All right. We've shifted the launch of the semi-truck to 2022. That could hurt it a little bit. That could hurt Tesla a bit. We got their earnings call coming up too. Making progress on the industrialization of the Cybertruck, which is currently planned for Austin production, subsequent to Model Y. So Cybertruck is going to start after the Model Y. They didn't really say if the Model Y... I mean, they said the Model Y would be this year, but they didn't say if we would end up seeing the Cybertruck this year. My guess is we won't. Earnings. Okay, let's see here. I want to see... Okay, we also want to make sure that we are ready for the earnings call. And I'm waiting for that press release. Okay, listen in here. Let's see when this starts. Oh, it's at 2:30 p.m. It's in over an hour. Okay, got it. All right, let's go grab a few more details here. So we got pictures. Oh, how cute. Look at that. The Berlin Gigafactory. And, ooh, look, robots. Ooh, fancy. Oh, this is the paint shop. Psh, psh. Yeah, sound effect really helped you out there. Okay, then we've got, wow, that does look cool. Texas. Oh my gosh. 6 months ago in Texas. Whoa, that looks incredible. That does really look neat. Jeez, good for them. Oh my gosh. Stamping press in Texas. Oh, wow. Thing is massive. So look at these like little garage doors here. So I wonder if like the parts go in there and it's just like multiple stamps. Like you get maybe 4 or 5 stamps in here. I'm kind of guessing that's what it is. See, you almost have like, it's almost like you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stampers or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would make sense that you're doing 5 because they all look duplicated here. Good old robotic stuff. Lots of people. That's cool. Some good looking people. Awesome. Clouds over Texas. Okay, cool. Some red and blue sticks. Great. Okay. Anything particular? Oh, SG&A. SG&A, selling and administrative, actually went down in this quarter. Not bad. And we had restructuring. That's fine. Where's services? Services was right here. Brought in 951. And services cost them 986. So they still lost about $35 million. I guess when you can, I guess you know you've made it when you can say that $35 million of a loss on a part of your business is near break even. Then you've made it. Oh, we just lost $35 million in the last quarter in services. But don't worry, it's the best we've ever had. And we're almost break even. No, it is really good because usually you put a much bigger cost. I mean, look at what you've previously had. You know, here you had under 900 and here you had over 900, 962. So it's a much larger spread of pain there, right? So good for them. Okay, very, very, very good. All right, we've seen quite a few of these already previewed here, so we don't have to go through all of these again. I am looking for this line right here. This is a very, very important line right here. Automotive gross margin excluding regulatory credits. Really important since the Tesla fudders like to bag on Tesla for this. Look at this. We literally said we should probably be looking back to Q3 2020 in this morning's video, and we have smashed it on margin. I mean, that is very, very, very good. Impressive job, Tesla. Very, very nice. Happy about that. And there you go. All right, there are your Tesla earnings. I'm actually I'm very happy with these. The fact that the stock is not moving is not a surprise, but who knows? Could be the catalyst that it takes to start a nice 21-day run again, or not. We haven't seen one of those in like many months, so maybe not. But anyway, very, 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 very cool. So very excited here. Okay, looking at some of these questions here. You have to stamp a part a little bit at a time. The doors are for changing the dies for different parts. Oh, okay, interesting. You put different parts in. I mean, you'd think you would just want to use like one part and just keep going over and over again, right? No, maybe I don't fully understand the stamping system there, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, these numbers are phenomenal. The fact that the stock's not moving is just I mean, it's shocking, especially since this is what it totally beat Wall Street expectations. Yeah, we'll stream the call. Sounds good. And Tesla can't easily run the way it used to now that it's in the S&P 500. I don't necessarily know about that. Interesting. Battery swap stations seem like they would be more efficient. I don't know, maybe. Let's see. Lukewarm reception to the news kind of invalidate all the numbers. No, not at all. What the stock market does has very little to do with what the underlying fundamentals of a company are. A lot has to do with emotion and momentum in the stock market. But in the long run, these are phenomenal numbers here. If anybody had doubt about Tesla, this just validates how great the company is. What the stock does, I mean, whatever. That's why I was saying, like, they could have great earnings and it could go down. Like, that's just the way it works. Now, obviously, I would love for Tesla to have skyrocket on this because I think this is wonderful. But hey, oh well. So we will come back for the earnings call in about an hour. Thank you so much for being here, folks. We'll see you in an hour. Thanks, everyone. Bye.